I think confidence is, you talk about having grown up and being in front of people, being out and about, which had nothing to do with women.
Right.
It was just sort of what you were, what life was for you.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of create those experiences for a guy who's 30, who's not had that? How do you help him? Because it's a difference, right? Like, not only are you going for embarrassment and hurt when you go to ask the girl up for that pain, but it's embarrassment and hurt from an attractive woman versus when you're 15 and we're getting made fun of by your friends. Okay. There's sort of a love there. So how do you kind of give them that?
It's a good question. One thing that I teach guys is about this concept that I call confident truth. And the thing is, your number one, I guess, prerogative when going out, when you're just starting this stuff, is to always be honest. And I mean like ridiculously honest. Like literally, when I met with guys when they're first starting, and they say, "Oh man, there's a really cute girl over there," and I say, "Okay, we'll go talk to her." And he says, "Well, what should I say?" And I say, well, the first thing I'll ask him is, "Why do you want to talk to her?" And he'll say, "Well, she's like the most gorgeous girl in the room." Go say that, right? And the idea is to just say what's on your mind, but say it confidently. Now that might take some acting in the beginning, to not be totally like shitting your pants when you say it.
100%.
But after you do it 5 or 6 times, you're not going to be as scared about doing it anymore. So maybe it takes you 3 or 4 times at the beginning of the night. Say it to the bigger girl. Say it to the the bartender who can't really be mean to you. Say it to someone that looks like they're nice, and then get rid of that anxiety and that apprehension. And then once you get there, and this happens to everybody, by the way. Once you do it 4 or 5 times, you'll find that that voice in your head kind of drifts away, and it's like, oh, okay, you're all right. I'm gonna stop. Your brain is almost like, okay, you're not gonna die. You're good.
Right.
And then you're kind of open up a little bit, and you can actually do stuff. So but yeah, like that's a big thing. Just say what's on your mind, but say it confidently. And you can just when you're like. The big thing that women do not like about guys, and the reason they don't like lines, the reason they don't like players and pickup, is because they think it's something that they think you're acting. They think you're lying. They think you're, and what does that say, right? If you're lying, you're acting. It means you're actually insecure.
Right.
So you're showing fear in a lot of ways, and fear is the most unattractive thing to a woman. The most unattractive thing. Fear in all its forms is kryptonite to women, as Future says. So it's something that you need to not do ever.
Right.
And the big solution to that is just this confident truth stuff. So always say what's on your mind. I mean, I'll do stuff. I'll tell guys, even if you don't know what to say next, tell her that. Like, you can literally just, as you're talking to her, say, "You know what? I'm actually kind of nervous right now. I don't even know what to say next. You're really nice though." Just make it comfortable.
100%.
As long as you're in control of your emotion, doesn't matter what the logic of the conversation that's happening is. This is the big thing that goes back to what I said earlier.
Right.
Guys are thinking, "Oh, what the fuck did I just say?"
What's the next smart line I'm going to say?
But that shit doesn't matter. It's what are you feeling? What is your emotion? Because that's what you're communicating.
Right.
Women can pick up on emotions as well as we can pick up on logic, right? So they can pick up on whatever emotion you're feeling. They'll read it in your face, your body language, the way you move, the way you talk. They'll get that. So you can't hide that shit at all. So you may as well be honest about it. Because as soon as you put on an act of like being the asshole, when she can tell you're actually scared, now you're fucking creep.
Yeah.
Now you're really creepy.
Yeah.
So that's the shit that the guys tend to have problems with. They think that they can put on an act and convince the girls that they're actually confident, and they're not fooling anybody.
Right. Now, so you talk about guys, and I would jump on that, is because you said you fake it till you make it.
Right.
That's a big thing that people say, right? And it's like, well, okay, so I'm just trying to fake it till I make it. I'm pretending to be confident until I am confident.
Right.
So then how do you kind of respond? Like, I'm not confident. So how am I supposed to be confident?
Right. So confidence in this case would just be honesty, right? So it wouldn't necessarily be, confident, because a lot of guys think confidence as like this thing, confidence is like being a dick, not caring, being like, fuck this shit.
Right. I don't need this. Sure.
And that's not really confidence. That's actually insecurity in a different form.
Right.
But real true confidence is actually being a gentleman, right? I mean, being someone who is not going to go out of their way to make someone feel bad. So if a girl does reject you, it's not the guy that's going to be like, whatever, fucking bitch, and walk away, right? It's the guy that's going to be like, okay, have a good evening, and walk away and not care. So, I mean, that's part of it. And, I mean, fake it till you make it, yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, it's not like fake it as in fake the emotion till you make it. It's fake it like as in put yourself in the situations you would be putting yourself into if you were confident.
Right.
So
that's a very different. That's a very different.
It's very different, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And work your way through that.
Right.
And then once you start doing that, you realize, okay, if I'm putting myself in these situations, I'm going to figure them out. All of a sudden, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be like, oh, wait, now I am this guy. Because I've gotten good at the situations by putting myself into them, and now I'm good at them, so therefore I am the guy that I was pretending to be.
Right.
So, yeah.
So that paradigm shift that, we talk about is be, do, have. And if you kind of be that guy that you want to be, you'll do the things that he does, and you'll have the things that he has. As opposed to trying to do the things that he does and have the things that he has in hopes of being him. Yeah. You just got to kind of, that's the only place you kind of change, transform, is when you're being that guy. And so I like how you said, fake it till you make it isn't that pretending, but it's putting yourself in those situations so that you have to learn or have to essentially be that guy. Yeah. Right. That's different. Yeah. That's a different approach.
It's, yeah, man, it's all about your mindset going into it too. I mean, you look at even like famous people and shit. I'm sure if you talk to Brad Pitt when he's, if you had a conversation with him, he'd probably tell you, yeah, he gets insecure all the time too.
For sure.
And it's not about like, people see this confidence and confident guys and they have these role models. They're like, oh, you guys would never be scared. It's not about not being scared. It's about being scared of doing it anyway.
Right. That's courage.
And that's courage.
For sure.
So, I think that's the famous John Wayne quote. He's saying courage is, knowing you're riding to death, but hopping on your horse anyway.
Right. That's it.
And it's true. So yeah, I think that's a big part of it. It's not about the people, your role models don't have those things. It's that they deal with them and you do it anyway. And that's the difference.
So do you feel like emulating people that you do hold in high regard is a smart idea, or is that something that you kind of get guys to stay away from?
Well, it depends who you hold in high regard, I suppose.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I come from a place where morals are a very strong thing, and so for me, my role models were always guys that were very, very honest and respectful and men's men. And so for me, I like to encompass those sort of values, being above everything else in the sense of I don't need to create any more negativity in the world. I'm a beacon of positivity.
100.
And if you don't believe that or agree with it, then that's okay. But I'm just going to shift somewhere else,
right?
And ignore the negativity that you're creating. So for me, that's awesome. So that's the confidence that I like to have,
right? And
that's the way that I see it. Other people may see it differently. They may see confidence as something where it's like, oh, the dude that says nasty shit to girls or something, and then that's an example of bad confidence.
Right. It's not something that needs to be changed. So I even what you just did right there, and I think that's an amazing thing that guys really want to see, is that you define what these generic terms mean. Like everyone says, and you said this already, like everyone says, oh, confidence. Well, what is being confident? Well, it's being, and there's sort of this like just no, this is confidence to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Being an honest, upstanding, moral, positive guy who brings something good to someone's life. Yeah. And knowing that I may not know all the answers, but I know that when they leave, I'm going to feel good. They're going to feel good, and we're going to go on our way. Yeah. And if you know that's what confidence is, you can aim for that. And I think a lot of times we go into situations that we have no aim. And without an aim, I know for me, when I have no aim, it's kind of, then I'm just like...
Yeah. You're just like looking for something to latch onto.
And I'm waiting for her to do something. Yeah. And you're just like, and she's... like, where is he going? Nowhere. And then she's gone, and I'm feeling worse. And so it's like, oh, here's what I'm here to do. And I always that's what I share with guys. And so it's cool to hear that, and I've always appreciated that about you, is that your vibe is always positive. It's like, it's not something you talk about. It's something you live. Like, camera's off, that's who you are.
Yeah, exactly. And you gotta, it's weird because I think negativity breeds negativity.
100.
And I think that anyone that's had situations in their life where shit has really gone bad, it tends to sort of attract other negative shit, especially if you sort of dwell in it and you get into a negative space. It tends to have a downward spiral, a term invented for it. So I think that even when stuff's rough, or even when you're faced with a situation, like for me now, like when I tell guys this, you go to a girl and she, like, let's say you go and talk to a girl and you say, hey, you're gorgeous, I had to go over and say hi. And she says, don't fucking talk to me, you fucking faggot, right? Pretty rough, right?
That's one of the more harsh things you're going to get.
Probably never going to happen, right? But if it does, even if it did, it's kind of hilarious in a way, because for me, if that happened to me, she doesn't know who I am.
Not even a little bit. Right.
If anything, I feel a bit sorry for her. I feel like, what the hell has life done to this girl that made her reaction that
vile. Yeah, for sure.
And I almost feel bad for her, as if to be like, oh, you poor thing, like what's going on in your life? And so for me, like a situation like that, a lot of guys go, man, we're a fucking cunt, like all this sort of shit. And it's like, no, man, you don't know her. You don't know what's going on. Maybe her boyfriend just broke up with her. She doesn't know you either.
Right.
It was a bad interaction, and that's what it was, and it's kind of hilarious. And the thing is like life is a big roller coaster of stuff, you know.
100%.
And so you kind of have to laugh at the big dips and sort of be like, man, wasn't that fucked? Holy shit, it's hilarious. You can't take it personally. And anyway, so whenever you have a situation like that, just sort of stand back and look at it as if almost like you're the audience watching it. Be like, man, this shit's fucking hilarious.
Right.
Look what you just said to me.
Right.
Oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? Let's watch and see. And now you're there. You got to deal with it. You just have to be like,
right.
Give a good night.
Have you? Well, I mean, I'm gonna wrap up with that. Is you've had interactions where you've gotten, as the term would be, blown out. As the old term would be blown out, that have turned into later in the night something good, or later. Has that happened to you?
Yeah, there was a time I was in Australia, and we were at this place. It was kind of like an after, like it was Friday night, and it was an after work kind of quiet restaurant bar. People go and have drinks there after work. Kind of thing.
Like mellow joint.
Yeah, and we just got there, and there were these group of 3 girls that I went and talked to, and it was like my first group of the night I was talking to, and I kind of went over probably a bit more high energy than the venue was really, I was going above what I should have been doing, so I came up and I was like, hey guys, how's it going? And I don't know what I said, but essentially what happened was they were kind of like, okay, bye now. We're just trying to have a conversation here. And I was like, okay, whatever. First set of the night. And anyway, so what happened was we stayed there for about an hour.
Yeah.
After that, we went to this other place, and this was in Adelaide, Australia, by the way. Anyone from Adelaide watching? It was an underground kind of like loud music, cool like hipstery kind of like vibe, and I was talking to these 2 girls there, and I turned around and saw the same 2 girls that I talked to earlier that had blown me out.
Right.
And I was like, hey, I know you guys. And because it was 2 hours later, the vibe was much nicer. They kind of looked at me like, hey, how are you doing? We didn't see you again earlier. Right. And I was like, in my head, I was like, what the fuck changed? Like, what the hell happened? You know, 2 hours ago, these girls wanted nothing to do with me. And now, because they probably had a few drinks, they probably see me talking to a beautiful girl. Right. I'm in a completely different light now. And it's like, oh, wait a sec. Maybe this guy's actually cool. We did a quick judgment on him before. Seems like he's actually a cool dude. So yeah, I definitely experienced that where their perception of who you are gets changed. I suppose not only by the way in which they see you again, but also the environment, and as well as the mood that they're in. So yeah, it totally happens all the time. This is what I mean by that doesn't happen with guys, right? Like if a guy sees a girl, and it's 11 p.m., they see her like, nah, so I don't want to talk to you. It's not like at 12:30 he's gonna see her again and be like, damn, who are you? Right? Unless he's really drunk, I guess. But the thing is, this is the logic versus emotion thing. Right. Her emotion is now changed. Right. Therefore, her reality has changed. Right. Whereas, man, the only way the logic is going to change is if we're drunk and we actually logically see her differently. Changes. Right. Yeah. Or our modus operandi changes.
The goggles. I think the other thing I always look at that when that happens to me is because again, you go back to being a gentleman. And even when a girl kind of brushes you, it's like, all right, well, hey, have a good night anyways. And, you walk off, you do your thing, you go about your day. And it's almost a test. Mm-hmm. And it's like, they're always tested. It's like, wait, we told him to get the hell out of here. And he was just like, well, you guys are beautiful anyways. And he's like, wait, well, is he really a nice guy? Or is he, like, now I want to see what he's about.
You'll notice they'll look at you a couple more times too, like.
Right. Like, wait, we told you to fuck off. And you were like, cool, have a good night. So that's a great thing.
Well, that's where the origin of the term shit test came about, was that understanding the difference between a girl rejecting you and a girl giving you tests. Right. And they do it, even if though they're not even aware of it sometimes. It does happen, and it is a thing. So. Right.